Hi, my name is Kirsten Kinsley, and I'm one of two College of Social Work library liaisons. I work with faculty and students with their research endeavors, and for and along with me is Lindsay Morton. She's my counterpart. We both are available to you to help with your research needs. My email is kkinsley@fsu.edu. And so today in the series of modules, you will find there's a number of them that talk about how to find tests or measures for the client that you're working with. And in this particular module, I want to discuss using mental measurements, yearbook, and tests in print. It's primarily used, at least in the ways that I've used it with students in Dr. Gamori's course, is to find tests and measures that are applicable to your client. And it is just one of many different resources you can use to do that. What's helpful for it is it can lead to other references about that test or measure that you find, and it really helps you hone in on the purpose of the test, the population it's been tested or normalized with. And so there are benefits to using this as a starting point to find tests and measures. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to lib.fsu.edu, and under the search options, there's two boxes here. You click on the search options box. You can either click on the down select from the menu, the drop-down menu, databases, and type in the database here. I typically click on database search. Now, if you type in mental measurement, it won't come up. You have to type in mental measurements, or even quicker way, mental measurements. There we go. Actually, if you spell it wrong, it doesn't come up. That's good to know. And also, if you don't add an S, it won't come up. But if you type in mental measurements, or you type in MMY for mental measurements yearbook, it'll also come up. So when you go into mental measurements yearbook, you'll see the EBSCO host icon here, and it's one of many types of databases provided by EBSCO host. We've shown you databases that are provided by ProQuest and others, but this one in particular, the format's similar. You have search boxes and you have your and or not commands. Works just the same way. You have this field over to the right here where you can actually say a particular field that you want to find. You can do that, which can be helpful sometimes. If you know a particular test name and you really want to search it quickly, that might be helpful. Most of the time, though, I just use keyword searching, so I just leave this alone, this select a field option. And what I want is, I want to know, are there screening instruments for substance abuse? So I'm going to put in substance abuse and screening, and I click on the search button. Now, what mental measurements yearbook with tests in print will give you, it will give you some ideas of some instruments out there. And when you're first searching, you can see that it provides other languages, instruments that are in other languages. It would give you different, perhaps the instrument has been developed over time. So perhaps there's a version 3 or version 2 and so on. So it'll kind of tell you if there's what the latest version is. Here's one for adolescents. And let's say my client was an adolescent and I wanted to know whether or not they were abusing substances, so that I can better help them. So here it says the date is 2017. So this looks like this could be really recent. I would recommend clicking on the title. And the first part that you're going to see is the acronym. So when you're searching in other places for this particular test or measure, you can go and type in SASE, and sometimes, that and the full title, knowing the full title and the acronym can be very helpful as a synonym. So you could type in, let's say you're in Google Scholar, you can type in SASSI and validation. You don't even have to type the word and, you just do SASE validation, SASE psychometric properties, for example. So just be forewarned, though, that some acronyms are repeated for different types of tests. There are different tests, same acronym. So sometimes it can help, sometimes it doesn't. So just have to be careful. It also lists the publication date. It was originally published in 1990. Here's the publisher information. Here are the authors in case you want to reach out and get a copy of the test if you're not able to find it in the ways that we discussed in the library research guide, or in, using dissertation abstracts to look in the appendices of the dissertation for a copy of the test. So you can at least see the items of the test and what it's measuring. But what this will do is it will give you the sub scales, so you can kind of get an idea of what it's looking at. It's looking at family, friends, risk, attitudes, symptoms, etc. So you can kind of get an idea of the scope. It gives you an idea of the population it serves, what appropriate to use it with. You can administer it with individuals or groups. It takes about 15 minutes on average. And here are the costs. And for reviews, it's saying you can see these 2 reviews, and they start at the bottom of the record. So that's what we'll do. And we'll see it. We see it is in English. And so as I scroll down, here's the first review, and it starts with, it's the first review because it introduces the reviewer, where they're from. This one's a professor emeritus from Troy University, and it's in italics. So this review is by this person. So this review includes a description, which can be very helpful. The development of the test. You want to know if it was tested on the population, which it says it's supposed to measure about. That could be a problem if they're not testing it on or normalizing it with the population it's purported to measure. And the technical section is really useful for looking at any kind of internal consistency measures, any of the psychometrics, validity, reliability, and unfortunately, you cannot use this for your paper. So what I advise people to do is just to scroll down past the summary, which is also helpful, and look to see the reviewer's references. There may be a reference here that's useful. So here's the screening for related disorders using the SASE implications for non-reporting youth. That may or may not list validation information, may not list internal consistency or the Cronbach's alpha or kappa, but you won't know until you go to that source. And you could just copy and paste it right into the catalog, into the one search. And I'm going to show that at the end. So, and then this second review here is by Todd Whitman, who is a associate professor at Shippensburg University. Again, same type of format, description, development, technical information. And you notice that it's giving your reliability test. Actually, this one's giving the retest reliability coefficients. It's citing some people. Here's that Pereira Dilts reference. And so I'm going to go down to the end and look at the reviewer's references. And I am going to I see one that looks really good. Anytime I see that word validation of an instrument, I am cued in that could list my reliability and validity measures. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this one. And I'm going to go to FSU Libraries homepage, one search. I'm going to paste it right in to the search bar. And then when I do a search, I see further validation. and then it's available online. I click on the available for online, and then I got to click again under full text availability. And then I can see the abstract to see, does it have any of the things that I need for my paper? And I can quickly see that it has a kappa coefficient confirmed in here. So if I want to dig a little deeper, I can view the PDF and do our little trick that you may have heard of in the other modules, which is going to Control F. And I can type in kappa, and I can see exactly where the kappa scores are. Remember, if it is the alpha symbol and alpha doesn't come up, you can also look for internal consistency, which I don't think this article talks about internal consistency. I think it's talking about inter-rater reliability. But even when I type in the word inter-rater, it doesn't say it comes up. But Cohen's kappa does. So you can look at the kappa scores in this article, and there's 18 times where there's a match where it talks about kappa scores. So, and mostly kappa scores have to do with inter-rater agreement. Here's your agreement rates for the different kappa coefficients. These don't really appear extremely high, but you can look and see where they're, maybe their sample size wasn't quite big enough. Here, you can kind of see they had a kappa coefficient of 0.053, but if you look at the population, it was only nine participants who they looked at 2 rater agreements and came up with this correlation. So again, well, the most important thing is that you can find the articles. So hopefully this was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to Lindsay or I. My email again is kkinsley@fsu.edu, and look forward to working with you some more, and good luck on your assignment. Thank you. Bye for now.